Welcome back to Behind the Business Chat. Every business has a story, and I'm setting out to learn the stories behind some of Chattanooga's most loved businesses. This week, I had the wonderful opportunity to speak with some of the Wooden family, who own and operate Orrin Wooden's Apple House. I visit this place every fall to grab some apples to make goodies and some apple goodies that they make. And I'm very excited to be able to share this chat with y'all as we discuss more about the history and what goes into this Tennessee apple orchard and farm. Now, let's meet Mark and Kate.
My name's Mark Burnett. I'm a general partner here at Orrin Wooden Apple House.
I'm Shania Kate Burnett. I'm Mark's daughter, but I'm also the granddaughter of Orrin Wooden.
Like 1995 is when he started like the Apple House part of the business. Mm-hmm. So was he just like selling the apples and the peaches, or did he stop the peaches at that point and just do apples? Like before that, do you know?
The apple orchard actually started in the 60s.
Okay.
When they started, with the apple orchards.
Okay.
And then they done a lot of logging as well.
Mm-hmm.
In 1995, that's when we decided to build the new, we call it a shed, but the Orrin Wooden Apple House, the new mm-hmm. shed. And we had in mind, what we wanted to do is we wanted to start a pie shop. We wanted to have a little bit of different aspects to the farm. Mm-hmm. And the pie shop has really brought a lot of people in, maybe people that didn't necessarily want to come mm-hmm. like apples that much, but they like their apple in already a form of a pie to eat.
Right.
So that's been a really big asset to us, and it brings a lot of customers in. Mm-hmm. And then a few years after that, we added the cafe. People kept coming. They said, well, we want to eat. We want something to eat other than just
because we're back in the boonies around here, and they're like, there's nowhere to eat around
That's
here.
True.
We want to eat before we get like a pie or a dumpling.
You don't want to eat a pie for lunch?
So that brought a different clientele in too, and then because they would eat a meal and then as well have their dessert. Mm-hmm. So that's something that's really been a big asset to us.
Okay.
But what you were saying before is that like they did do logging, but then they also tried peaches. Mm-hmm. And but the variety that they tried to grow, it wasn't hardy enough for our winters here. Mm-hmm. So they just stuck with apples. Not too long ago, we started with our peaches. So now we have more varieties of peaches that actually can stand the cold on the mountain.
Right. Okay. Like with the apples, did he sell them like on a market stand here by the side of the road? Did y'all or was it more like a wholesale kind of situation? Like before the Apple House?
Before the Apple House, it was a retail and a wholesale deal.
Okay.
Used to be a lot of wholesale. We used to do a lot of tray pack, like small apples for schools. Mm. We don't do that as much anymore. The cost to do it, you've got a lot more labor. Mm-hmm. So we really don't do that much of that anymore. We're just doing fresh right on site. And we do a lot of wholesale. We have a lot of people come in. They have fruit stands. They may sell it to farmers markets. Mm-hmm. And they come in and buy a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit as well.
Mm-hmm. Are y'all involved in like the farming process? Can you tell me like what that looks like day to day, like around the year, like how kind of like a whole season year round would?
Some people think we just do it in the fall, like they just grow and then that's all it is. But like you have to prune in the winter, you have to thin the apples in the summer. Like it's a whole year kind of thing. Like you have to constantly be doing something, taking care of the trees, bush hogging the orchard. There's a lot of different assets that go into it.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was kind of asking like year round, because I understand that I've done this with a few other farmers that I've come to find, like even strawberries. Yeah. Strawberries only grow for like you only have fruit from them for like 1 month. Yeah. Or a couple weeks really, and that's it. But it's a year-long process to make sure that you can have those ready in the spring. So that's why I was curious about apples.
An orchard is really labor intensive because, like Kate said, when it's cold, you're out there pruning. You got to prune every tree,
and it's cold
every
too.
Year. And it's just it's a year-round thing. It really is.
And how many trees do you have roughly?
We've roughly we were just talking about that just a little while ago with my brother-in-law, and we were figuring somewhere around 20,000. Mm-hmm.
It's about 100 acres, give or take a few. Because we had more, but you take down trees because they get too old, and then they don't produce as much fruit as they should. So you have to take them down, then you have to plant new ones, and then those take a couple of years to produce as well. So it's just like, it's kind of you have to be patient.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any farming sort of situation.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to add too that there's several of us in the family that are involved. My mother-in-law, she still comes down mostly every day that
Orange wife.
Yes.
Okay.
And also my brother-in-law Chubby Smith and his wife Carol, she does the pie shop.
Okay.
So
and then their daughter Candace, she does the cafe.
Okay.
So she's the cook in the cafe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've all got our little part, that we do to make it work, and it's really it's family. So you got somebody that's invested, so to speak, and if it was just anybody, I'm not saying just anybody would come in and not do a good job, but when it's family, they've got an interest in it, to see it thrive and to see it do good.
Yeah.
So it's really been for the most part, we get along really, really well.
Well, that's good. That was actually one of my other questions, which actually Sandy had asked that. She's like, well, do you have like a list of questions that you're going to ask them? I'm like, actually, no, I usually do on the spot. But they're not like high pressure. They're very like laid back kind of questions that you should be able to answer off the top of your head. But I was like, for example, one of the questions I might ask would be like, considering how many generations, like you don't see that very often, especially these days where it's like a family business passed down generation to generation. And then I was just kind of curious how like y'all stayed interested, and kept the interest in the younger generations to continue.
It's like we love it, but also we have new parts that like Candace, she really liked the cooking aspect. So she stayed in the business, but she wanted to bring something new to it. And just like me and my brother, I just graduated college, and he's in Johnson City right now, and he's going to come back. And we have plans to like do some more things that are different, and we want to make this more of like a family place where people can go. Like it already is, but we want to make new things that like families can really enjoy together.
Right.
Yeah.
We would love to do like hay rides and different things, but we live on a pretty busy road here.
Yeah.
And we're really concerned about traffic and about safety.
Yeah.
And you're going, and we don't have time to drive a tractor and pull kids around because we're overseeing the day-to-day operations.
Right.
So having the right person, it's going to take a two-person deal, one person driving the tractor, one person with the kids, and you have to have the right people to watch the kids and everything.
Yes.
So that's what's holding us back right now, really, about the safety issue, because if we do it, we'd like to maybe take them to a pumpkin patch and let them get a pumpkin, take them to the orchard, let them pick an apple.
Yeah.
So that's some things that we're looking at that we'd really like to do.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys need a bigger family than you already have.
Well, we just need key people that we can trust, and labor is everywhere help wanted signs.
I know.
Labor's a big issue, and we have enough people now, but
we do need a bigger family, though. I keep telling my brother and sister-in-law that, but we'll see.
No pressure.
Yeah, we just, Candace, she just had a baby not too long ago. She's about 16 months now. And so, like, it's nice seeing her grow up in the Apple House and walking around. Because her sister, Kara, she works somewhere else, but they're still here all the time. And her daughter, she loves to, like, learn how to make pies. And it's the sweetest thing. And then Charlie will go with them in the tractors and stuff. So it's just like, everyone, even though they don't necessarily work here, they still love to be here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, our kids have grown up in it, and my brother-in-law and his wife, their kids and now grandkids are growing up in it. So, we hope that would be the soon to be, not soon, but hopefully our grandkids, whenever it happens.
No pressure.
This is not a pregnancy announcement, just so you know.
We'll be interested in it as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So at what age do you start them working? I'm just kidding.
We'll discuss that with the child labor
Straight out of the hospital. We're around here. We're going.
But yeah, that's great because yeah, like especially like your age, that's usually the age that if there's, you know, a generation, that's usually when you're like, you know what, yeah, I grew up here and I loved it and all, but I want to do something else with my life, you know, so keeping that interest.
And that's fine.
Is,
that's fine if that's the person's wish, but you know, the kids, but we want them to be here, but you know, everybody's got their own goals and ambitions. So
my brother, he originally didn't want to come back and come and work here because he was like, I don't want to be on the farm. I don't want to work here. I want to go and do more businessy stuff because he's very computer smart.
Okay.
But after he like went to college and went away, because we both went to the same college, he was like, I'm going to come back and work on the farm because I actually really love it there. So I'm glad he is. So.
Have to be open with them and let them make that decision.
Yeah.
Because if they're not going to be happy in that decision,
they
won't be successful if they're not happy.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like you said, it's a big family affair, basically. So I mean, you don't want to be forcing someone to work here that doesn't want to be here, because then they'll just bring everybody down. And
Oh yeah.
Speaking of finding workers, so since you have so many apples, so many acres, like how do you manage? Do you have like people that you hire to help you do? Like about how many people?
It ranges. So like I feel like right now we have around 8. Sometimes we'll have 12. So it just kind of ranges between like those two numbers. And then like we work on it too. So it's just like 2 groups, I guess, working on them.
Okay.
Well, it's not just seasonal work because like the workers that work outside, they work during like they do everything we do. They prune, they thin. So it's just like finding people that'll stay. That's another thing too.
Yeah, because there's like cushier jobs out there, like
100%.
like a factory.
Because I mean, we lost a lot of our crop this year, so like we didn't have as much work for people to do. So like they couldn't stay because there wasn't a lot of work to do, so they had to go work somewhere else. So it's that's another factor that goes into it. It's just like all of our problems that come in, like because farming, it's a gamble. That's what I've been saying. It's like it's a gamble. You don't know what you're gonna get every year.
It's a good life as far as, you know, I mean, when you work the ground or whatever you're doing, planting this and that and other, and then you see the fruits of your labor.
It's a fruitful life, if you will. But seeing something that you plant, that you push into the ground yourself, come up, produce fruit, it's just nothing like it. Like it's amazing.
It also keeps you close to God because you definitely you pray over your crops. You know, just like this year, you know, it was God's will that we had a freeze, and we don't know why, but we just have to trust Him. But still, we just have to go. We have to keep going.
Every time we plant a field, we always pray over it. We always say, Lord, bless this field.
Yeah, and God does His work, whatever it be.
That's right.
That's another beautiful thing about farming, because like you said, you can plant you see the fruits of your labor, but at the end of the day, you really didn't do it. God did. Like, it's a miracle of like. You depend on Him for rain, or if you got too much rain, or if you, I mean, you know, you pretty much have to just say, God, just your will be done today, or you know. But if you would, please give us some rain. Right. Here's what I would like. I mean, you do whatever you need to do.
I've got an agenda here for you.
We always notice that you have to be careful for what you pray for, though.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you like, Lord, stop this rain. God may give you a drought, you know, and if you're like, God, we need some rain, He'll bring some rain for about a week. So it's just like, we always pray that He'll do what He wants to do and not what we want Him to do, because He always knows best.
That is true. Yeah. How many different varieties of apples do y'all have?
We just counted it.
22.
Were you like preparing for this?
We took a few things out, you know, and added some things. We just wanted to make sure how many, you know, exactly what we had. We didn't want to come into this thing and not know how many.
Like give you the wrong information.
But we have sweet eating apples. We have cooking apples. Apples that dry. One thing we do, sell fresh cider. Now it's straight juice. There's no additives at all. It has to be pasteurized now.
And like you have to have quite a few apples to mix in together for like the flavor and stuff.
Yeah.
So you gotta have.
We like 2 sweets to 1 tart is what we like. It's a good combination. But there's definitely some strict regulations about the cider. You know, it really has to be. Now we don't make it. We'll give a plug for Apple Valley Orchard over in Cleveland. He's got the cider press, so we take our apples. He gets the blend with his apples and our apples to make the right, combination. And so he makes some great cider. Over at his place. So we've tossed that around about, getting a cider press, and the kids are kind of interested in it. But maybe that's something we can proceed to here in the next few years, maybe. But
all the legal stipulations.
Yes. But you have to have like a lot of apples like throughout the year. Like usually we start having cider around like Labor Day, but we have like the tart apples and the sweet apples all throughout the year. So we try to like take different ones that come in over the fall. So. That's why we have so many. One, it's good to eat too.
We do, just to give you an idea of what else we do. This year, because of our crop being light, we're growing, our corn's not ready, but we're growing corn. We've got pepper, we've got tomatoes, we got cabbage, we got pumpkins growing.
Lots of pumpkins.
So we'll have a lot of pumpkins for sale during the fall season.
When did that start? Like, when did you start incorporating the other produce and the pumpkins and all that?
We grow pumpkins for golly bum.
They used to grow those big ones, like the Atlantic Giants, like the huge, massive ones. But like before we built the pavilion, that's where the pumpkin patch used to be, was right there. Yeah, so they've been growing pumpkins for a long time. It was just like recently we started growing the acorns and spaghetti squash and
butternuts. And a lot of different. We're going to have some stacked pumpkins this year. Kind of offset some of the loss. We really went all in growing a lot of different ornamental stuff.
So you had mentioned earlier about like basically collaborating with another farmer to make the apple cider and stuff. So like, how did all that begin? Because I've noticed like even in your store, like you have some like jams and like spices and different stuff that are from other places that you don't make yourself. So like, was that just like family, friends, or like word of mouth? Like, how did that?
You mean how did we get started, or how did?
How did you start like incorporating, like working with other farmers and other local?
Well, I think the way the deal went with the cider is when Chuck's dad, Charlie McSpadden.
They're the ones that own Apple Valley Orchard.
Yeah, him and Orrin, they decided that one or the other was going to make the cider. So Charlie ended up making it and doing it, so we just buy our cider from him. And like I say, every time we go, we take juice apples for the next time, where we can keep our cider coming. But he does a great job. As far as the jellies and everything right now, we get those already made. We just get them freighted in, and then we sell.
Except for the like Grandpa Yoder's, they're like local people.
Yes.
They make that stuff. So that is the only one that like we get from around here. Like our popcorn though, someone local makes it here too. And they pop it and then they bring it in fresh. They brought it yesterday. Oh my gosh. I had to taste test it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So
we have a lot of crafts upstairs as well that we let vendors bring them.
They're also local too. The vendors are.
We get a certain percentage of what it sells for.
Yeah. So like hopefully one day we'll be able to do like the jams, jellies, butters, different things like that here. It's just we just don't have a place to at the moment. So hopefully we're going to expand. That's what me and my brother want to do. So hopefully we can do that one day, build a building and do all those things. So that way we can have more like local stuff, because we're all about local. Like we also have soaps. A lady, she's one of our friends, she's amazing. She's from Wheeler Mountain and she makes like these soaps from her animals, like
milk and everything.
Yes.
Like goat's milk and
yes. And I love it. I love the soap, because we also use almost everything that we get in the store, because we don't want to sell something that we don't believe in.
Online it was saying y'all planted more trees like over the years, expanding. Do you plan to plant like more trees, more acres, or are you gonna kind of keep it where you have it?
We pushed some out this year, some old trees. We've got a lot of trees coming for this next year to plant. So we pushed the trees out. We farmed it with vegetables or winter squash, Then we'll come back in and plant our tree, work the ground and sow it down with grass good, and then go down with the trees and plant our new trees. So we do a lot of dwarf trees. Dwarf trees, you can plant them. They're more of a high density orchard. You can plant them closer together. They pick a little bit faster than a semi-dwarf. They're a little bit easier to handle as far as size, but we do a lot of the dwarf rootstocks. Your rootstock controls the height or the vigor of your tree.
So are they say like short enough that you don't need like one of those pickers to pick?
Well, you still have to have a ladder. So it's like one of these trees, it's like, you know.
Yeah,
these are dwarfs.
Yeah.
Oh, these are,
like,
okay.
Yeah, like a semi-dwarf would probably be like quite a bit shorter than this.
Okay.
And then like there's a 111, which is a huge tree, and the trunk is a lot bigger. It's just a lot bigger in size. That's what they used to grow. Like that's what some of our mutsus are still growing on. That's what Granddaddy had planted. You know,
Right.
A lot. Yeah.
The advantage really, of course, different varieties may be a little bit more vigorous and grow taller, but you know, you got higher density, can pick a little earlier on a dwarf rootstock. So, you know, you start picking fruit earlier. So it's got an advantage. The worst thing about them, they're not really a freestanding tree. So you do have to put some kind of stake, a support stake by it and tie it to it so it won't, you know, fall or go, you know, way back and forth or whatever.
I did not know that. Never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like when you look really close, like you can see the stakes in them. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, one of those, not that I plan on starting an apple orchard, but that sounds like a mistake that I would make. Plant all these trees and they'll blow down. Like, what did I do wrong? Oh. I guess so. It was like 1995 is when you went ahead and started the pie shop, right? That was kind of the idea behind that. And then like how far along was the cafe behind that?
Was that like 2013?
I think that's right, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit off on that, but I can't remember the exact year. It's a big hit. Now, to tell you something else that we did last year, right across from our sales room is our new packing shed. We built that. Last year was the first year in operation of the packing shed. New machinery, you know, more modern that we put in there. It's been a big asset. We've got a new cooler, cost us a lot, but we needed upgrade.
A lot.
We needed upgrade because our old packing shed was it was old and wore out. So we just pushed it out and started over. So it's been a great thing. I mean, really a big asset for us.
Okay.
But what you were saying, like the pie shop and cafe, they're quite a few years apart. It took us a while because, I mean, they may not like to say it, but like change is kind of hard for us. You know, the questionable things of building new stuff and like how it's going to be and like what the rules and regulations are, because that's a huge thing.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with food. Selling food, cooked food to the public is not easy.
So like for a while there, it was just like, oh gosh, should we do it? And then Candace came back and she wanted to do it. So that's why they decided to do it then. But it took a lot of years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people being like, y'all need to build a restaurant.
So was like the menu idea, was that all Candace, or did everybody kind of pitch in ideas on?
Well, we always talk about things and iron things out. We get together and get everybody's opinion and then go with it, you know, whatever we decide. But meet 2, meet and 3 kind of concept is what we've got.
Like a little country dinner kind of thing.
Yeah. I was actually reading, because I did a blog post on this place last fall, and so before I started doing these little chats, so I was rereading that today to make sure, just to see what I had covered in it and stuff, and I forgot that I had written in there, I was like, yeah, this was the first place that I went, because I'm not from here originally, so the first place that I went that had I call it like Southern style meal of the meat and 2, meat and 3, it was the first place I had been that had that, and I was like, what is that? Like, I didn't understand it at first, and then I understood. I was like, oh, you pick your meat, like your protein, and then 2 sides or 3 sides. Okay, now it makes sense. Like, but I remember looking at the board and seeing meat and 2, and I'm like, what's meat and 2? Like, I need more information. Like,
we do have other things on the menu, you know, that you can get, but we just, as far as that, we try to keep it simple as far as, like every day, like Monday's got a certain special,
right,
and every day of the week has a certain special. The Friday would probably be the most favorite. It's
poppy seed chicken and fried okra.
The poppy seed chicken is a big hit.
Yeah.
It really is.
So what about you guys? Like, what is your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been on a diet recently, and her salads are just chef's kiss. Like, I love salads now, and she'll just make me one, and it'll be so good because she puts a lot on there. Like I'll have enough for 2, and salads aren't like a lot for
you have to eat a lot to kind of be filled by them, basically.
Yes, but they're my favorite right now. But before it was 100% poppy seed chicken, and then but she has like hash brown casserole on Saturdays. That's really good too.
Yeah, I've tried that one. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I guess I probably like the ribs the best.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Sunday it'll be ribs, and I really, of course, my diet's a little different than most people. I don't eat anything sweet. People say, well, you're out there run that pie shop and you don't even eat pie. And it's just kind of a habit I've developed. My eating habits are a little different. So
you gotta watch yourself around here.
Oh yeah,
we're here every day.
Yes.
People come in, they'll be like, oh, it smells so good in here. We can't smell it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every season, like when we'll start, we can smell it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's just going. So it's just like, I guess the smell doesn't affect us like it does other people.
Yeah.
So, but oh my gosh, I would weigh 500 pounds if I.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if you're working in the back making the fried apple pies and the donuts and everything.
And that's the thing though, because like with working in the family and stuff, like I've worked in all 3 parts, like whenever they need me. And it's just so fun in all of them. Like, I've made the fried pies before, and then I would go and help Candace cook and stuff. And it's just like, it's so fast-paced, but it's like, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
It is. During the season, it's just go,
crazy.
go.
Yeah.
Especially like October, because that like we're kind of a fall place, so it's just like a lot of people come here in fall, and it's just, you're busy constantly, but that's how we love it.
But we love it, because if we're not busy, we're bored. We're not making money.
Yes.
We got to be busy, but we're thankful.
Yeah.
We really are. We're thankful that what we've got and the business that we got and the farm. And
we also love seeing like people, they come every year, and like you get to where you know the people, and it's just like seeing them every year, and it's just so exciting that people love to come to your place. They love to bring your family to their place, and they enjoy it. So it's just like, it makes you feel good, like not because it's your business, because it's like your family, and like some people become your family when they come there so much. So it's just
watching kids grow up. And
yes.
Like, I remember you when you were half that size.
Yeah.
Feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Am I getting old?
I think about that now that I'm out of college. Like, I'll see people come in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I am old.
I know, I'm starting to feel that way. I said something the other day about like, oh yeah, 10 years ago, my car that I owned 10 years ago, and I was like, 10 years? I've been driving a long time. Like, I don't feel as old as I sound, but like, but I've done that with kids too, because I've taught Sunday school for like 15 years. Like basically since middle school, I was teaching 4 and 5 year olds.
Yeah.
So like some of those 4 and 5 year olds that I was teaching, like they're in high school now, and I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I'm not that old, am I?
Oh my goodness. It's just amazing.
Well, you said you don't really care for sweets. What's your favorite from the pie shop?
Well, let me rephrase that.
Oh, okay.
I love sweets.
Oh, okay.
He's just like one of those people that he's either all or nothing. Like, he's either the whole pan of dumplings or none at all. You know what I mean?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, if I eat 1 fried pie, I probably eat 2. And 2 bowls of ice cream with it.
Oh, goodness.
So I just have to refrain.
So what was your favorite before you went on the diet?
I like the dumplings. The dumplings with the ice cream.
I'm trying to think. Mine changes every season. But, oh gosh.
Well, y'all try some new stuff too. I like that how you incorporate more stuff, so you don't have like the same stuff. I mean, you do have the same stuff, but then you add change out some things.
Every time Carol has another grandkid, she names something after them.
Oh, okay.
And those have been probably my favorite desserts that she's made. Like, there's the Kerrigan roll, which is like a cinnamon roll with apple pie filling on top of it, and then cream cheese on top of that. So good. But then also there's the Sweet Charlie, and it has like, it's a chocolate chip cookie with ice cream, and then like caramel and chocolate on top of that, and then like a cherry on that. That, like, they're so different, but they're so good. But I'd say besides the grandkid, desserts, which I don't know why they're my favorite, but they are. I guess I'm biased because I love those kids. But the apple cake, I love the apple cake. It's so good.
That's one I haven't tried.
Yes, you got
okay. Yeah.
There's this woman, and her name's, well, we call her Grandma because like she's just this nice older lady. I mean, like everyone's dream grandmother. And she works back there, and she's just the sweetest thing, and she's the one that makes the cakes. Like she comes in and you'll just see her back there making them cakes, and I just love it because it's just like, I guess it's kind of the story behind it too why I love them so much, but they're just so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you gotta try them.
I guess I'll have to get one today.
Yeah.
I always get an apple fritter. Apple fritters are my favorite.
Oh yeah, those are so good
and
too.
Your apple fritters are really good. It's hard to find a good apple fritter too. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I really like your apple fritters.
Yeah.
In some places though, of course, they go cheap and they don't even put apples in there. It's just apple flavoring, and it's like, where's the apples?
Yeah.
You kind of talked about how you want to hopefully have like a cider press and stuff like that. Like, do you have any other like future plans that you're open to sharing about?
So one thing I really wanted to do, I wanted to do a festival. Me and my cousin have always talked about that. Like, we just wanted to have something where people could come and enjoy and just have a great like fall experience. So we're actually doing that this year though. We're going to have a harvest festival in October. So that was one of the big things that I wanted to do every year. But also like building that building, having a cider press where like everyone can see what we're doing, like watch them make the cider and stuff. And then like we want to do like the jams, jellies, butters. We want to make it like a big kitchen where people can like watch us do that too. Like, because people want the experience. They want to see you. They want to see what they're eating. They want to see what you're doing, the process, and like how you make everything. So like, I really, really want to do that. Like, that's mine and my brother's dream right now. We also, like the Pioneer Woman, how she has like that cooking channel. We just kind of want to do something like that too. Like make the fried pies, the jams and jellies and stuff. Of course, like we want people to watch us and see us do that too. So like, we kind of want to do like a YouTube kind of thing too. But my brother, his dream is to do a podcast for like the Apple House and stuff, and that's so cool that like you're coming here and doing this
that's
too.
So funny.
Because, so he loves well, we both do, and it's just like talking to people, and hearing their stories and stuff. Like he just wants to do that too. So we just we have all these dreams that hopefully we'll be able to do soon. I'm waiting for him to get back from. His wife is at college right now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going for a doctorate in physical therapy. So.
Oh, they're gonna be there a while.
Oh, yeah. They'll be home next year, thank goodness. But,
okay.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we plan it together, and that like everyone has an input on what we do, because that's really important. Because you don't want a crack to happen between your family to where like you don't have someone's opinion and you do something like without them knowing. Like we just want to make sure that we have our plans together. We have everything that we want to do, all the details behind it, all the legalities behind it, and then like present it to them and have their ideas and stuff too. So
we always, if we got something new we want to do, we have to agree on it. I'll tell you something that we did that was if you want to know something we did that was a flop. We did a
corn maze.
We did a corn maze right here in this field.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute disaster. For us. For some people do great, but we just said the worst thing is people had to cross the road.
And on that blind curve right there.
Yes.
And that was a big negative right there, And then the kids
completely tore it up.
They didn't follow the paths and everything. They made their own paths.
Yeah.
So
I got out. I did it.
Pretty much knocked corn down.
Yeah. So we would go through it, to check it and stuff, and there'd be this new path, and we were like, where'd that come from,
But it didn't work for us.
Oh,
it
goodness.
Really didn't. We tried. We really tried, but it just didn't work.
So it's trial and error. You got to see what works for you. You got to see what doesn't. Because that would work for other people, but I guess where we're located, this part, it's just just not what people wanted to do, which is fine.
The farm tour deal is something big that we talked about that earlier, but it's something that we could really. We could make money at it, and plus we could provide a service that the kids would just absolutely love. Taking them to the orchard or to the pumpkin patch, let them pick a pumpkin, pick an apple, and that's something that we want to do. But like I say, we got to have the right personnel in that.
Hopefully one day. That's another dream of ours.
Yeah.
But that's a few goals or things that we are interested in,
Because farming is a changing thing, and the world is also a changing thing.
Definitely in the last couple years.
Yes, 100%. So it's just like, while we love our business and we want to keep our core aspects, we also want to have different things to bring into that people can do every year. Because, they do come and they get their dumpling and stuff, but we want them to have an experience too. Like, we want them to enjoy the farm as much as we do. And, to see, to learn the history, to see the orchards, to, see everything, what we do and stuff. So we just want them to be able to experience it like we do.
Yeah.
When COVID come in, we have really good weekends, really awesome weekends. But during the week, a lot of senior citizen groups, they'd bring, they would come out during the week. Church groups would come out during the week because it was a little less busy. And now, see, we don't have that. We don't have that through the week because they're afraid to get out. Yeah, and we understand that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But it has it's hurt us on our traffic through the weekdays.
Yeah.
Because, the weekend crowd, they're at work during the week.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it has made a big impact on the bottom line, so to speak.
Yeah.
Sure has.
You're talking about kids picking apples and stuff. Have you ever considered, I'm sure you've considered it, but basically, I know y'all don't let the public pick apples.
Yeah.
No.
So was there ever an idea of maybe just having an acre where they could do that or something like that, or you just don't want to do that at all because it's too damaging to the crop?
Well, we talk about it every year. We do, because everyone calls us every year, because that's kind of a fall thing. It's picking apples and stuff. When you plant trees, they take a couple of years to start producing apples. And then after that, if you have someone come in, I guess people don't look at a tree like we do. They don't carefully go about it as we do. So it's just some people, they don't care, and they'll tear it up.
Exactly.
And so it's just you'll have to go back to square one sooner than what you usually would have to when you're taking care of the crop yourself. So that's one of the big things. We would love to do it. We would love for people to pick the apples and stuff, but it's just, how often are we going to have to replant? How often are we going to have to take better care of our trees because someone else didn't? So it's just one of those things.
How can you make it cost effective?
Yes. Yes.
It's a great concept and a great idea, but well, I don't like that one.
Throw it down.
That one's got a little scratch, throw it down.
Yeah.
Because apples aren't perfect, as much as we would like to think that they are. A lot of them have little blemishes on them, some have bruises, and we'll second those out. We'll pick all of them and then we'll put some in seconds. But when you're picking them, you want the perfect apple that you can get.
Right.
So that's one of those things too.
Yeah, a lot of wasted crop and then damaged trees.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because a thrown down apple is money.
Yeah.
We would love to, but
you had mentioned you want people to be able to watch your process, once you get to where you're making your cider and your jams and jellies and everything. So what are you thinking? Having kind of Krispy Kreme donuts where you can watch the conveyor.
Yes.
Is that your idea?
Okay, so have you ever been to one of those? I guess maybe Gatlinburg, one of those old candy shops. That where you'll see them making the taffy. You'll be standing outside of the building and there's this big window that you can look into, and it's just you're seeing the whole process and you're in awe and you're I want some of that taffy. I don't even like taffy, but I want it. You know what I mean? So I just I want to do something like that because it intrigues people, and I think it's cool. I myself think I love to see that stuff.
Yeah.
So I can imagine other people would too. And that's just why I want to do it. And also I think it's important for people to know how things are made.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of stuff out there, you have no idea what you're eating or what you're doing. So I want people to be able to see that stuff and to see our environment and how we love to do it.
But with just the food safety laws, we used to let kids, whole a classroom full of kids come in the packing shed and watch us pack. We can't do that no more.
Yeah, you have to be careful who you let in your shed.
We've got windows there where they can look through, and it's not as good because they can't really get closer.
Right.
So anyway, that's the way the law is.
Yeah.
Just like the taffy or whatever you're making, apple butter, cider, it's going to have to be closed in with a window. They won't be able to go in.
Yeah.
But they can still see the process.
Right.
But they can't get close.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. I want to have a whole commercial kitchen and then just this big old window where you can just see everything that's going on. So that's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to get in trouble, and we also just don't want to hurt anyone. Like, that's our biggest thing. Like, safety, we just want everyone to be safe.
Yeah. So out of your 22 apple varieties, what could you tell me off the top of your head, like what kind of the season ranges are? So I know you guys are like pretty much late August through like early December, late November sort of. But like I know different apples grow at different times. So
well, our ginger gold is usually the first apple that we pick.
Okay.
And then after that, then
Gala.
we pick some galas, and the Honeycrisp is the big variety.
Yes, that's the one that everybody really likes.
That's the one that everybody loves.
That's what my coworker just came. She came last week and she told me, I saw her at work, Monday. She's like, oh yeah, I went up to Witten's to get Honeycrisp, my favorite apple. I was like, I didn't know you went up there. And I'm like, they're open already? Like,
yeah. See, a lot of people, we would have like a June apple, like an early apple that would come in June, which sometimes the ginger golds do come in a little bit early. But we'll have so we do start like around the 1st of August. We have ginger golds, and then we have galas, sansas, and then we have Honeycrisp, right? Honeycrisp. And then we have like Ozark golds, and then like September is that's when all the apples come in that everyone likes. Like we have Ambrosias, Golden Delicious. People like Red Delicious. I will never understand why.
I've never understood that either.
Not as much now with all the different varieties.
Yeah.
The Mutsu is a big seller.
Yes.
The Mutsu.
Yes. A lot of people like to use that. Well, a lot of people like to eat it in general, but they like to use it for butters and stuff. September is just like a big time.
That's a big month.
Yeah, Ambrosias are really good too. Like that's one of our newer varieties of apples. It's my favorite apple. It's really, really good. But like we'll have that one. We have a Blondie too.
Yeah, Fuji. Arkansas Black, Rome's, just
Pink Ladies. That's a good one too.
A plethora of varieties, I might say.
Oh my God. I'm surprised he has not told you a dad joke yet in this.
I'll think of one.
You're doing good. No. Hey, I'm all right with that. I had a coworker that he was notorious for that. Everybody be rolling their eyes and stuff. I'd be the only one like, oh, that's a good one. And
he'll say them to customers sometimes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like that's the 7th time I've heard that joke today. Like, give me a new one. Let's go.
Well, here, I got one from my coworker. I don't know if you've heard this one. Where does a king keep his armies?
I don't know.
In his sleeveys.
Oh my gosh.
That was like one of my favorites that he told me, and so like I remember that one.
Oh my goodness. That was good. I haven't heard that one before.
Well, now you have another one for your arsenal of.
Okay. I'll use that one.
Sidetrack, so back to. So most of your stuff comes in September. Like what's October? Like what comes in October?
October, that's when we really start bringing the fall stuff in. The pumpkins, spaghetti squash, the butternuts, acorns, stacked pumpkins, all that different thing. Pie pumpkins. That's when all that stuff really starts coming in 1st of October.
What about like apple wise? What?
We'll just be getting into some later varieties like the Romes, and we do have Romes this year. Rome used to be a really popular apple because people cooked a lot. They made different things with Romes.
Those are like the softer apples, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, and then Arkansas Black.
They're like the hard apple.
They're hard, and they'll keep. Some people will bring them back next. Like if they got them in the previous year, they'll bring them back and say, "Look, I've still got Arkansas Black.
Oh my goodness,
not rotten."
Wow.
So, but they got the freeze really wore them out.
Pink Ladies come in October too, right?
Pink Ladies, yeah.
Okay. Do any come in November?
No.
No. Okay.
That's usually when we're just winding up our season. Like that's when we sell, just the rest of our apples and stuff that have come in.
We usually close the day before Thanksgiving as our last day. Okay. Usually. According to our crop, this year it'll probably definitely be that time because we're, don't have much. But if we got a big crop, we stay there until we sell out.
We were there until almost Christmas one year, and I was like, I'm ready for vacation. Like, let's go. We're thankful, obviously, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, I am tired of looking at these apples.
It's a 7-day thing, When season's here, there's no...
You just hit the ground running and you don't stop.
No matter what you want to do, you have to tend to the farm and get everything ready to sell. So, you either accept that or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're tired by the end of the season just because we're constantly going. Like, we love it, but we have to do little things. I know we're all together all the time, but sometimes all of us will go eat Mexican food on a Saturday night because we're just like, let's just go do something else, And then, like, we have church on Sunday morning, that really helps us too. But oh my gosh, one time, me and Dad, we were so tired. We were both just like asleep in church, and my mom just looks over and she's like she's sitting between us and she's like, they are both asleep right now. We're just like, we're tired from apple season.
If you're going to take a nap, I guess church is a good place.
It's just the most common
Very peaceful.
place you can be. Yes. Yeah. In November for Thanksgiving, that Sunday, Candace will always do like the Thanksgiving dinner kind of thing, like food. And we'll all go in there and eat. That's our Thanksgiving dinner together. It's just all in there. Because after that, we are all laid out. Sleeping on Thanksgiving.
Something we do for the veterans, we always on Veterans Day, we do a meal for the veterans.
Yeah.
And give them apples and, so.
Yeah.
We're very thankful for our veterans, and we
Yeah.
like to show our appreciation to them.
Yeah.
If I understood you properly, the Harvest Festival, is this your first year doing it?
Yes, it is.
Could you tell me more about that?
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be October 8th and 9th. We are going to have a bunch of vendors that'll come sell their stuff. There's like boutiques. There's going to be a lot of woodwork people. There's going to be some candle people, just all kinds of different things. Hopefully going to have we planted a sunflower field down there, so hopefully that's going to be ready. And then we're going to try to get like a bouncy house or like a bouncy pad for kids and stuff. We're just really going to try to have something for everybody, something for the dads. We're going to have cornhole. So all you dads out there, we're going to have cornhole. And then we're going to have Rayburn Acres. They're a local place here too. We love them. Candace does a lot of stuff for them because they'll have like nights where they do different things and like different themed nights. And they're going to have a build your own bouquet bar here. So like flowers, different things like that. So they're great people too. And then a lot of local people are going to be out, selling their stuff. So we're really excited.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it would be fun and good.
I'm a little nervous, because it's our first year. We really want people to have a good time. Because, these past 2 years, because this year's almost over, we just, it's just been hard. And, people have been, a lot of people have been sad. A lot of people have been, I guess, kind of lonely and stuff. So we just want to have an event where people can just really enjoy themselves and enjoy their family and just kind of have a good time,
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a big thing for us.
What is your irrigation system if you don't get rain? Because I know we have some drier weeks. I don't know about you guys here, but down where I'm from, we had some drier weeks for a while there.
We used to do overhead, rainbird kind of thing, overhead irrigation. Now we do drip irrigation.
Yeah, so that T-tape that you see right there, that's a part of the irrigation line.
What it does, there's an emitter every so many inches, and what that does is it gets the water to the root, and you're not throwing water, maybe spreading disease or anything on the tree itself.
You're also not wasting as much as you would be with that.
You're getting the water where it needs to be, right around the root.
Right.
So, and it saves a lot of water because it's going where it needs to go. So that's what we do.
Okay.
And all of our vegetables, we put them on plastic, and the same line that we use for the trees is under the plastic.
Okay.
So we have pumps in different places near the ponds where we pump the water, and it's just a drip, and that's how we water our vegetables too.
It's a lot more precise than the overhead irrigation is.
Yeah. You lose a lot of that too.
That's
just
right.
the air even.
Yeah.
Well, you're just a lot of runoff and everything.
And that causes erosion and stuff, so that causes more problems with the ground in your orchards too. So you just got to be careful with that.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? I always ask this, and it's a very vague, open-ended question.
Well, I would just say that we at Orangewood and Apple House appreciate all of our customers, and we welcome any new customers. And if you want to come out and visit with us, whether it might be to buy apples or to have a meal or to
just
have
a good
pie,
time,
just come on out and visit with us, and we appreciate your business.
Yeah. And thank you for coming and interviewing us.
Yeah. And thank you for being open to it. Alright, that concludes this episode of Behind the Business Chat. Be sure to check out the blog post linked below to learn more about Wooden's Apple House. And if you didn't already know, I have a podcast version of this Behind the Business Chat series as well. The link to that will also be below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week.